Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled Special Edition, Day 2 of Inspire. Inspire's been different this year, guys. We had the keynote, featured sessions yesterday. Today we're going to go through all on-demand content. So there was a ton of sessions. So we really broke it down, trying to make sure we get all of anything that you could need to know, either in this session or in our blog. So make sure if you've not checked out our Day 1 blog, super important that you do. Day 2 is going to have a ton of additional stuff because, my goodness, there was nothing but on-demand sessions. It felt like you should have seen that war room. It was a ton of fun. Now, I want to kick us off with something about an announcement that we saw, and it's Microsoft 365 Backup and Microsoft 365 Archive. Now, I want to start with Backup because this one is really unique. And it's interesting because Microsoft's looking to provide a reliable, secure, and scalable backup solution for SharePoint, OneDrive, and Exchange. So if we move on to Archive, Microsoft's really looking to make sure that there's a tiered storage solution. There's a lot of security talk that's happening during Inspire, but we've got the perfect guy for it. Thanks for joining me today, David. I even did the finger guns. I felt confident with it. How are you doing?
Good. I love this set. I feel like, are you old enough to have watched like Total Request Live on MTV, where they did like all the
when they had music videos?
Like before they had other stuff, but actual. This is what this feels like. Like we're about to throw it to a Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
You know, I saw this set and I was like, this is it. I like it. I feel at home here, right?
I actually had one of these like old school TVs back in the day because when I was growing up, I was a remote control.
You were the remote? You had to go.
My dad would say, hey, go change the channel, and I'd have to go change it. So I kind of identify with all this stuff, which is awesome.
You've been on Technically Unraveled. You've been on a couple of the shows, actually, for Pax8 Live. So tell me, who you are, what do you do here? Give me a quick little rundown.
Sure. David Powell, and I'm the VP of Sales Strategy here. What that really means is my background is with big private equity-backed MSPs and cybersecurity software. So my job ultimately is to kind of help us with our cybersecurity go-to-market for our partners.
I like it. So all things security, right?
Yes, all things security, but in business speak.
Business speak. I like that because it's not nerd speak. So let's business speak this.
We have a lot of guys that are good at that part.
We got a lot of those. So is cybersecurity and risk the same kind of conversation?
Not at all. And I think that that's one of the things that we have to really kind of help educate our partners on is that they're used to having technology conversations. So one of the things that I want to make sure that we demonstrate to our partners are kind of these two ideas. One is empathy and one is inevitability. So the one with the empathy is like, look, I mean, ultimately, partners are like, why in the world do we have to spend all this energy because these bad guys are burning their very considerable technical talents on stealing money instead of doing something actually good with all their technical skills, right? So there's this sense we want to have empathy. They're like, look, this is not fun. No one wants to fool with it, but it's just the way that the world is.
It is what it is. We got to do it.
That's right. And then the inevitability part of it is like, you know, as we've talked, I'm from the dirty South. And so in the South, you know, fall sometimes comes early.
Yep.
Sometimes fall comes late. There's some people around us here on set that could attest to that. Where like sometimes at Halloween you're bundled up. Sometimes you're like in a t-shirt and sweating.
Hey, we've played outside like flag football.
Yeah.
Like Christmas Day.
Exactly
right. So I totally hear you.
But you know what's never happened in all my years in the South? We've never skipped fall and gone straight to winter. So fall comes early, fall comes late, but you always have to go through fall. So if I'm an MSP, my customers, some of them have had security incidents already. You know, they've gone early. Some of them are going to go late, but there's no customer out there that won't have some kind of cybersecurity incident. So this sense of empathy, like, hey, you don't want to address this, but you need to, and this sense of inevitability around, if you're not talking to your clients about this, someone is going to be. So you really need to address that. So that's some of the stuff that we're wanting to stress.
You know, I think it's just so interesting because you're working on a lot of really cool projects. And so I was glad that you were able to come in. I mean, you flew out last week, you were back this week. So I appreciate all of that. Big apologies to your family, okay? But I think I want you to talk about the projects that you're working on with the cybersecurity insurance readiness, because I think that kind of ties into a little bit about what Microsoft might have announced. Security is going to be the main focus. So tell me a little bit about that project, what it means.
So I think that a lot of people are trying to look at like, okay, how do I mitigate my risk from a cybersecurity insurance standpoint? So most of them have, you know, errors and omissions and general liability, and now they're hearing a lot about this cybersecurity insurance stuff. But insurance providers, they have actuarial tables and they have millions of data points. And so you can say, hey, you have a male of this age with this kind of family history, and they can project life expectancies and all this kind of stuff because they have all the data. No one has all the data on cybersecurity insurance. So it's kind of vague, and they're like, feels like we'll charge this for this, and they don't know what their exposure around that is. So talking to cybersecurity insurance providers, what they're saying is they really want to see that end users have 5 things.
Just 5?
Just 5.
Okay.
As a kind of a starting point, right?
Sure.
You're never done with this, but this would be like the starting point. So the 5 things they want to see: advanced email protection, and that you don't just have kind of basic email, but you've got good email around that. They want to see security awareness training. Is that your users need to understand that this is important. You need to test them.
Don't click this link.
Don't click the link. Like, I got a text message today from our CEO asking me to send him gift cards. Actually, it wasn't from him. That stuff happens, right?
Okay.
So then they want to have EDR, right? So endpoint detection and response. Then you want to have MFA, multi-factor authentication. Okay. And then really this idea of segregated backups. So a lot of people have backups on-prem, which is good, but the bad guys have figured out how to jump into that and encrypt your backups on-prem. So can you have them on-prem and somewhere else, like in the cloud or whatever, so that you've got multiple places. So if the bad guys get into one thing, you've got the other thing to kind of backstop that. So those are the 5 things that they're looking for, and that's what we really want our partners to have, those kind of conversations with their end users around. At a minimum, these are the 5 things that you need to have.
I love it. So Microsoft's talking about
I feel like
immersion.
we should be discussing old English with the books or something like that.
I feel like the coffee mugs, it's the whole vibe in here.
I feel like maybe I need a coat with the coat? Patches on the sleeves or something.
You like those.
Tell me about your mother, Kristen. But anyway, here we go.
So Microsoft's talking about immersion trainings, and these are level 400. There's 3 different paths. They're really getting technical here. So they've got into the, I'm going to get this one.
Yeah,
Wait,
go for
you
it.
ready?
I'm
okay.
ready.
Into the breach, on the brink, and Shadow Hunter. So it's trainings. They're gamified. They're supposed to be really cool. They're hands-on. I really look forward to seeing what those look like. But I know that we're also working on additional trainings internal to Pax8.
Correct.
So can you give me a little bit of a feeler on what's to come here?
By the way, speaking of English Lit, there was a little Charge of the Light Brigade reference there. Once more into the breach is from that. But so yeah, we're working on that. Is that I think that cybersecurity as an MSP, like the go-to-market. Imagine if it's like these woods, right? Okay. And we can just kind of stand there with our arms crossed as Pax8, watching the MSPs trying to find their way through the woods and hope.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck out there. Take some water and just hope that they come out on the other side.
Yes.
Or we could show them a path through the woods. And when I've worked in MSPs before, we built this very prescriptive sales training. So I think there's this question around, are salespeople born or made, right? And a lot of people depend on the born. Well, we hired some people and they were good. Man, we'd love more like them, but they didn't really create that person. We want to help make cybersecurity sellers. So we want to give a prescriptive approach to cybersecurity selling to our partners and say hey, maybe you've got 3 steps into the woods and just take our remaining 7. Or maybe you've got 8 and just take our last 2 to get to the other side. But it's somewhat like in fitness where, should I do Orange Theory or should I do CrossFit or whatever? I don't care. Just pick one and be committed to it, right? Just start. So here is a process to go sell to your clients. And the question, what do we sell them? I think the easy answer is the 5 things that cybersecurity insurance is looking for.
Excellent. So Microsoft mentioned their new integration with Blackpoint Cyber.
Yeah.
Any thoughts come up immediately?
Yeah, companies like Blackpoint are doing what's called typically anomaly detection. So your old school cybersecurity stuff was signature based, which means there was a list somewhere of known bad things. So
and if it hit this list.
If it hit the list, it blocked it, right?
Okay.
That was very common. Now it's much more anomaly detection. So we're looking for things that seem outside the norm. And Blackpoint does that really well, and integrating with Microsoft to help them identify those things. So things like, hey, Kristen, your company has had a potential login from China. Now, I'm not telling you that's bad. I just want to surface that to you and say, hey, Kristen, is this legitimate or not? And you could look like, oh, no, we've got a sales rep covering China. That's legitimate. Or you go, oh, that's not legitimate at all. We don't have anybody in China, and block it.
Sure.
Or bulk downloads from OneDrive, or lateral movement inside the network from a computer. So all those things are the types of things that Blackpoint could look at from an anomaly and report against.
Why are bulk downloads a flag?
Oh, so bulk downloads, that's actually a good one, is that, so if you've never bulk downloaded before, just select all and download all. I think I would want to have that surface to me, and I could be like, oh, well, you know what? Kristen works for me. We just ordered her a new computer, and she wants to have a copy of this stuff on her new computer. Or it could be like, oh man, Kristen's been a little disgruntled lately. She's about to turn her 2-week notice, or she just did turn her 2-week notice, and she's trying to
She
take the
shouldn't be downloading.
company goodies with her, right? And so
Okay.
those are the types of things that you would surface. And so the more data a company like Blackpoint has, the better. So if they could ingest all that information from Microsoft, then that's going to show them more things that appear anomalous, that then they can rise and surface that up to the MSP and say, like, is this what you intended? Is this legitimate? Or is this something that needs to be blocked?
I'm really excited about the integration. So I think it's going to be great. Cybersecurity is going to continue to be obviously a focus here at Pax8. We're putting a lot of resources to it.
Absolutely.
It's going to continue to be a focus for Microsoft too, but you're going to have to come back on Technically Unraveled. I want to hear all these updates on these cool projects.
Anytime, Kristen. Love to come back and chat.
All right, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to make sure that we are kicking it over back to Philip because he wants to talk about cybersecurity as well. Let's see.
Hi, Philip here. So it's really interesting that over the half of the sessions in Inspire are going to be around AI as well. Like, I'm just speaking honestly here. I'm the 54-year-old guy, right? I've seen the birth of the mobile phone. I've seen the birth of the internet. I don't think there's anything as big as this that has even been on the face of our planet in the world of technology right now. I think AI is going to actually dwarf those other things that we've seen. It's going to allow us to go faster. It's going to allow us to be more efficient. It's going to allow us to do more. It's unbelievable. So it's no surprise to me that Inspire is focusing on it for over half of the sessions. But what does that mean for us in EMEA? I know that's the question you wanted to ask me, right? So what it means for us in terms of priority is how can MSPs and how can businesses unleash that AI on their business to get the results, right? Increased productivity, increased efficiency, bigger results. People want to do more, better, faster, different all the time in their business. So I think the key thing that you're going to see from Pax8 is us enabling with tricks, tips, tools, all kinds of a toolkit that you'll be able to get from us off the back of Microsoft services to help partners win and grow and be more effective in their business.
More, different, better, faster. I love it all, Philip. Now I want to kick it over to our satellite studio because Josh is ready to talk about Teams.
Thanks, Kristen. So what I've learned over the past few days is how much AI is really transforming the digital landscape in the modern workplace. And I'm super excited to kind of show you and kind of discuss how it's changing within Microsoft Teams. So in case you didn't know, in FY23, we saw 300 million people using Teams each month. And in 2022 alone, Teams Phone added over 5 million users. Teams Room exceeded 500,000 active devices, and we saw thousands of Teams Premium customers in just a few months from the launch. Now, I know in 2024, we're going to keep that momentum going with Teams Room, Teams Phone, and Teams Premium. But why you're here is to learn about all the new AI features coming to Microsoft Teams. I want to talk to you about Microsoft 365 CoPilot for Teams Phone. Now, what this will actually allow you to do is create real-time call summaries for both PSTN and one-on-one web calls. Now, imagine how powerful that is, right? You can be having a conversation and it's taking all the notes for you, right? So you can actually focus on what Teams is meant to do, collaboration. Now, also this quarter, we will see shared calling come out. Now, this is a really great feature that will allow admins to easily enable groups for users to make and receive PSTN calls using a phone number and a calling plan. And we're going to see it available on E5 and Teams Phone Standard. Now, also later this quarter, you're going to see Cloud Interframe come to Teams Room on Windows for Teams Room Pro. And that's going to be available to all those license holders. And what this will actually allow you to do is think about if you're in a conference room, right? And maybe you don't have the latest and greatest technology, you don't have the smartest cameras. Well, Cloud Interframe will actually allow you to focus in on the entire attendees, right? So if you're joining in virtually, you're going to feel like you're right there, right? So again, it's creating that more collaborative space. Now, also this month, we're going to see Windows Team updates come through, and that's really going to help your IT staff stay on task. And we're also going to see big security things come out for Teams Room Pro licenses. Guess what? those are automatically going to be upgraded to Intune Plan 2 and Microsoft Defender for Endpoint Plan 2. And guess how much that's going to cost? It's going to be free. Again, super excited for all the new AI features coming out for Microsoft Teams.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. A lot of stuff. I like being able to just really get in there and focus, making sure that you're really there when you're actually in the meeting versus, I mean, I think we're all a little guilty. We might have some stacked calendars where I'm meeting to meeting and I got to multitask in between, but being able to take the notes and all of that, a lot of cool stuff coming. So, Matt, welcome back. Day 2.
I know, it's good to be back.
All right. I think they know you.
I think they're good.
GTM, biz apps, all that good stuff.
All these things at Pax8.
All right, all the things at Pax8. I like it. Now, we're going to dive right in.
Let's do it.
MCPP. Is it
MAICPP. Let's carry on.
Okay. All right. Maybe Elliot will put it in the chat what that actually means. So there was a lot of on-demand sessions. Like as we were going through, that was a key focus, was MCPP. And how is that changing? I want to go through maybe some program updates.
Yeah.
What are some benefits?
Yeah.
Maybe how do partners actually utilize the program?
Yeah, and I think some of the things that I've seen in the sessions, and the one that I really enjoyed, I watched on demand today, was getting started with the Cloud Partner Program, and that was really good. It was like a refresh of my memory of, oh yeah, these are some things, and we've seen tons of partners saying they're going to struggle with solutions partner designations, and actually all the benefits they get with Action Pack. Microsoft went through that, all the advisory hours, the marketing tools, all these things that they get on Action Pack. But then as you go into solutions partner designations and some of the updates there, even advanced specializations, there's a ton more coming. There's now 6 for biz apps alone.
Ooh,
so
I'm shocked that that's the one you
That's
chose
the one
to-
that stuck in my
okay,
head.
good.
6 advanced specializations for biz apps. There's new solutions partner designations coming for support partners and training partners, so they can really stand out with the impact that they have on Microsoft technology. They've done extensions in terms of if you want to retain your solutions partner designations, there's now a 6-month window of doing that. You don't have to have it precisely on your renewal date. There's a little bit of breathing space there. There's a number of things coming. I'm trying to remember. There's some really key announcements with the MCPP. But yeah, there's a lot coming that's going to really benefit partners. And then when you look at some of the benefits that they talked through as well, it's things like the advisory hours that goes completely underutilized. Every time I speak to partners and they want to try and tap into someone at Microsoft, and that can sometimes be a little frustration. It's actually, well, if you've got a solutions partner designation or even Action Pack, but with a designation, you've got 50 advisory hours that you can use to speak to someone who's a technical head.
What does that mean though? So they've got 50 hours.
They can use that for pre-sales. They can use that for if they're going to look at building a new practice and looking at how to go about that. They can use these advisory hours to tap into someone at Microsoft for a little bit of extra support and guidance.
So it's not just the fire alarm of, oh my gosh, it's broken. It's
No, this is outside of support. This
Excellent.
is like to help them build and help them grow their practice. So yeah, there's a ton of updates with MCPP.
So I like that Microsoft is also thinking that way because
Yeah.
we've been thinking that way.
Yeah.
And we're really looking at saying, hey, you know what? How do we make sure that we're taking our partners and helping them into their next workload?
Yeah.
So what does that look like for partners? And I mean, biz apps might not be the third cloud anymore if that's the case, right?
Yeah, that's it. Microsoft's really, and that was a lot of what I've seen is how can partners utilize their benefits to help them go to market with another cloud that they might not be as familiar with. So I'll use biz apps as the example, obviously. But they're using the marketing content that's available through MCPP. If a partner doesn't have their own marketing tool or anything like that, they can use digital marketing content on demand, upload it into there, attach their, integrate their socials and their email with that, and then have a marketing tool that they can use for free, and they get all the reporting, who's clicking on what, all these things. So if partners want to now go into another solution area, like, yes, there's tons of training that we're doing at Pax8, there's Microsoft Learn, there's virtual training days, there's all this. it's great having all that knowledge, but then it's, well, how do I go and speak to my customers? And now there's answers for that as well, which is great.
I got to tee you up for this one. I feel like it would be rude if I didn't. There's a lot of talk about biz apps. There's a lot of talk about the growth in biz apps.
Yes.
How excited were you to see some of those numbers?
It was great. I mean, you know, looking at the number of partners, I remember a few years ago, I can't remember exactly how many years ago, but it was like 8,000 plus Dynamics partners. And now it's 11,000 plus Dynamics partners, 1,300 more in the last 12 months. And at first, even I was one of those people, I was like, that's amazing. We're over 11,000 and so on. And then I remembered the keynote and it was, there's 400,000 plus Microsoft partners. I thought, okay, so that's less than 3%. Like there's a huge area of growth still to come. But then when you look at the growth trajectories that we're seeing, you know, 29% growth year over year in Dynamics, faster than the market average, 50% growth in customers on the Power Platform. Like that growth, there's a huge market there. So those 389,000 partners that aren't transacting Dynamics, you know, there's a whole reason why they should. You know, even when you look at the total addressable market, $168 billion, a total addressable.
Say it again.
168 billion with a B.
Billion.
A B.
Okay.
There's a huge addressable market, you know, even, and what's being used now, 33 million active daily users on the Power Platform. Like there's so much opportunity there. And when I've looked at, again, other sessions that I've attended for Dynamics, again, seeing the margins, sorry, that's what I was coming to, the margins on Dynamics, these partners, even doing P2P, so not with services, seeing a 30% increase in their margins or over 30%.
Even with P2P. So they don't even really have to be the ones.
That's it. When they have the services, it goes to over 40% in margins. Wow. So there is a reason to go down the services route, but even an increase in 30% of margins, there's a reason to just do the P2P stuff too. So yeah, Dynamics, there's so many announcements. There's, you know, things coming with Sales CoPilot, Dynamics Customer Insights. There's all these announcements coming. The new advanced specializations, all these things. It's exciting. There's a lot coming, and it's definitely a key focus for Microsoft. You can see that when you look at the content. Well, I would say that.
I mean, I saw it too, so I agree. All right. You know what? I want to go ahead and kick it on over to Nadia in New Zealand. Let's talk about how she's helping partners grow in that region.
I am Nadia Phillips. I am Director of Marketing here for APEC, and I lead the marketing team across our whole region with a collective goal to achieve our commercial objectives with intention, fostering new ways of thinking, working, building capabilities that will help our team unlock new possibilities, which is why this question actually excites me. One of the best ways for our partners to set themselves apart when growing their practice is really through looking at that recurring revenue and the 3-cloud opportunity. So looking at how we can grow their business to include both modern work and Dynamics and taking the Azure usage as well. And we've got the ProServe team that is able to help with the capacity or the capability if you don't have that in-house. And we've also got the Academy team, where while we're helping with that capacity and that capability to be able to take hold of that whole revenue output from all of those 3 clouds within that customer base, we can then take our Academy team to actually help grow, certify, and build up that capability within your own business. We've also got an opportunity around the system integrators, the SIs versus the MSPs. So traditionally an MSP has really concentrated on that reoccurring and on being able to help across the customers being able to take that monthly licensing. We've got a lot of SIs in New Zealand and in Australia and in our APAC region. How do we help those SIs to actually start understanding that we've got this reoccurring revenue opportunity in front of us where they can take their professional services and then they can have that monthly offering if they can understand how they can actually take a little bit of that MSP model and put it into their own business. Traditionally, the Microsoft licensing has been super confusing, and a lot of SIs will actually just say, I don't want to know this, I don't want to go there. However, Pax8 and the way that we can actually help to move forward is that we can take you through again that what is it that you're not sure of? Is it the licensing understanding? Is it the capabilities? Is it the certifications? So we can help with that know-how and help you to build your business using our Academy team over time. But in the meantime, we can also then help with actually getting it going right now. So the question I'd like to leave you with is, if you're not taking that recurring revenue, then somebody else is off the back of your work. So why not take it?
I couldn't agree more, Nadia. Why not take it? All right, so now joining me, Vivian. Thank you so much. It's your first appearance on Technically Unraveled.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Who are you? What do you do here at Pax8?
So I am our VP of our Microsoft Alliance here at Pax8 for our global Microsoft program.
Excellent, excellent. So you've worked in the channel, you've worked at Microsoft.
Yes,
Say you know partners?
I do.
Excellent, I like it. See, I'm ready to throw you a curveball at any moment here.
Oh, great.
I won't do that to
Can't
you.
wait.
First and foremost, I want to talk about Partner of the Year because Judson really talked about it well. There was a lot of focus on Partner of the Year, different awards, different nominations that people had. We brought a couple home.
We did.
Let's talk about it. Tell me what we did.
Yes, very exciting. So we brought 2 awards home. One was the customer experience. This was a global award that we actually won now 2 years in a row. And I mean, we're honored to have won this award, but we also feel incredibly validated that Microsoft truly sees Pax8 as best in class for customer experience. And as you mentioned, Judson was talking yesterday in his keynote about the Microsoft customer engagement methodology. And as he's talking about it, I was so excited to see how much alignment there already is to our own methodology.
Isn't that nice when you're like, man, we're already there.
We're already in sync, and especially as it relates to how we recruit partners, how we grow them, how we retain them. And as Nikki mentioned yesterday, our methodology, command of the message, it revolves around the main pillars of growing your business, gaining efficiency, and reducing risk. And so it was so
I don't know where
nice.
David Powell is right now, but he's excited about reducing risk, okay? I can tell you
I'm
that.
sure he is. I'm sure he's listening in and getting very excited. But, and so it was great to see that these themes were recurring throughout Inspire this week too. So just starting the fiscal year with this kind of alignment is very, very exciting for us.
Excellent.
The other award that we won is Modern Work for SMB. This was a US award and also won second year in a row. So again, Microsoft validating the fact that, and recognizing what we do in the SMB space. And I mean, Pax8 knows SMB, right? We understand that this partner segment has very unique needs. And Pax8 truly is that place, the one-stop shop where we welcome every SMB regardless of where they are in their cloud journey. So, whether it is, we offer demystification for Microsoft products and programs, we offer, consultation services with our cloud specialists, as well as, access to our pro services teams for migration help, security assessments, so much that we do. So it really is gratifying to be recognized by Microsoft for the work that we do in this space.
And I mean, I feel like we got to give the biggest shout out to the partners.
Oh, yes.
The sales teams.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, incredible support. The support teams on the back end. I mean, NCE wasn't a small task, right? So, I think it's just a collective win for everybody. So I was really excited about that.
100%.
Now, it's interesting this year in Inspire. There's an SMB Focus.
Right.
So I feel like
you noticed.
Weird, shocking. I noticed that, right? I was like, okay. So we actually have a slide for the FY24 SMB priorities that came from Microsoft. So I know they're going to pull that up. Now, talk to me about this. What does this mean to you? Because it's actually SMB priorities direct from them to us. Tell me, are we aligned here?
Well, I was just going to say, the thing that stands out to me is already that alignment. Because if you look at the pillars of what Microsoft is focusing on for FY24, those are the things that we already do. That is exactly how we go to market. So just to see that alignment there is incredibly exciting. I mean, the things that we're going to be doing together this year is just awesome.
Excellent. And I mean, here's the thing: we're either going to help the partners grow into a new workload, or gain additional customers, right?
Absolutely.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
And
100%.
it aligns directly. So I was really excited to see that one. So now a huge benefit of working with Pax8 directly is the actual business planning. We help them identify different business opportunities. Can you take me through what that means?
Well, so we work with partners, we basically meet them where they're at, right? And so we look and see, where are you in your journey? Do you want to acquire more customers? We have a motion for that. Do you want to enter a new cloud? Okay, we absolutely have a motion for that. In fact, that's all we do. And be it, a learning journey, hands-on labs, at every juncture of where that partner is, we have something for them to not only deepen their knowledge, but get to that next level. And it's up to them. It's truly a self-serve of motions that will help them get to where they need to be.
Awesome. Vivian, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing what Microsoft and how our partnership is going to go through FY24.
Same.
You'll be back on?
I hope so. There's
Excellent.
a lot to talk about with regards to all the opportunities, so I hope you'll invite me again.
Absolutely. All right. One of my favorite parts of Inspire is getting to listen to Microsoft Pax8. No, I like to listen to Microsoft's senior leadership. Now, they go through these keynotes. Man, there's some things that I really don't want you to miss. We put together a quick video. Let's check it out.
I am really thrilled to be announcing Bing Chat Enterprise.
It's your AI-powered chat for work, first of its kind. It's available today at no additional cost for the over 160 million people who use Microsoft 365 business offerings. And finally, Microsoft 365 unlocks a whole new way of working. Based on the positive feedback from our pilot testing, we're pleased to share our final pricing today. Microsoft 365 CoPilot will be available at $30 per user per month.
I'm really excited about the changes like with Bing Enterprise, Bing Chat Enterprise. And so when we kind of go back to like the $30 for Microsoft 365 Copilot, Bing Chat Enterprise will be available at a future date for a standalone $5 SKU, and is already available now for Business Standard, Business Premium, E3, E5.
But it's included in those SKUs.
Right.
So if you have like Business Basic, the lower level SKU, you could get that as a standalone for just $5.
Right, in the future, yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have a release date on that currently with the $5 standalone, but I think it's really important. So the main concern I think that everyone kind of brings forward when you're using it for work purposes is data.
Sure.
And so Microsoft made a very strong point on this, on the protection of data in that.
The next thing that I want to announce is the Microsoft Sales Copilot. This is a super exciting sort of next step in the evolution of the scope of Copilot.
But really, it's when you start to think about the bigger picture and how these co-pilots integrate together. So Dynamics 365 with Microsoft 365, and again, it goes back to that MCEM. So yes, there's these separate co-pilots, but start to think about how do they go together and how can that really bring value to a customer.
So I'm very excited to announce the general availability of the process mining tools in Power Automate. This is the tool chain that every one of us can use to be able to first map out the processes, sales processes, finance.
It's security, it's productivity, it's improving business processes, it's everything. And yeah, it really just highlights how Microsoft are taking things that could possibly take days to try and analyze and doing it in seconds.
Two things I'm excited to share. First, we've enhanced our Azure Migrate tool. And the second is that we've increased and simplified our cloud investment funds.
Today, we heard Microsoft deliver new enablement resources and the expansion of their multi-day sales boot camps with the newly announced Azure OpenAI plus Copilot boot camp starting in September, alongside their current Modern Workplace Azure BizApps offerings. These resources give us a glimpse into Microsoft's evolving cloud strategy and helps us stay ahead of the curve when these changes are delivered.
So my last announcement is around the partner program. But it's really exciting to see us completely revamp the investments, the incentives, so that you all can really take advantage of everything that this AI age has to offer and drive both business growth for yourselves and, most importantly, value for our customers.
This is really just focusing on the next generation of that program and how partners can really help their AI strategy and focus on the economic opportunity that Microsoft realizes there.
There's a lot happening around AI, but I want to know, how is Pax8 incorporating AI into our own platform?
Kristen, back in June during Beyond, Scott Chasen spoke about the way we are reimagining our marketplace. Today, our marketplace is very much a product catalog. And so there is a ton of focus right now. How do we reimagine the marketplace to become a real sales tool for our partners to be able to really grow and drive business? The way when we think about how does anything become a sales tool, being centered in data. And so making sure that we are driving our business with data insights, and obviously the core backing on anything that you do in that space is around AI.
I love to see how everything is just kind of meshing together there. I've been trying to keep up with this chat. It's been a ton of fun in here. I'm trying to pull out some questions. I like the ones, being here with Britton. Caleb's got jokes today. I love the banter that we see back and forth. Matt, we had to bring you back for some questions.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. First and foremost, we talked about designations. We talked about, I'm going to try it. You ready? MAICPP.
Probably.
It's close. It's close. I feel
good about
it
that.
didn't sound confident, but I'm going to say it should have been. So can Pax8 help with a roadmap and how to get these designations?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, it is going to be a tough, because compared to the competencies of old, getting those solution partner designations, there's a few more things they need to achieve.
They were oversaturated. We had to move on.
They were. Everyone had smaller mid-market cloud silver competency because it was so easy to get. And yeah, Pax8 can truly help. There was stuff that Vandit talked about yesterday. There's things that we're doing in Pax8 Academy, tons of training that we're doing. But also, I feel like with our Microsoft One Cloud program as well, and enabling partners to transact in multiple cloud areas, even if you're not going for a designation in multiple clouds, by doing that, you drive more cross-sell, you drive more usage growth, you drive more deployments, and all of that goes towards your designation as well. So yes, we can support from an education perspective, but also that customer add and growth of customer, that aspect as well.
So the account team is the place to go, place to start.
100%.
Perfect. There was a Dynamics question.
Of course.
All right, so there's a lot of Dynamics resources.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources in general. We talked about that yesterday. But does Pax8 have a little bit more maybe specific SMB go-to-market packages versus what tends to sort of look enterprise?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, with our acquisition of Bamboom Cloud earlier this year, we have our Pax8 ProServe team for business applications with their SMB specific packages around Business Central, Sales Pro, and the Power Platform. So yeah, 100%. And not only that, again, go back to Academy. We're going to have SMB specific content in Academy. So taking what Microsoft Learn has and really evolving that into how do we help that benefit our partners specifically and their end customers and really help them go to market. So yeah, there's a ton that we're doing.
You You're going to like this one.
Okay.
Elliot Chandler. Having a silver competency basically meant that you could log into your partner center.
Yeah, you could add, you added 4 customers in a 12-month period and they could have 1 seat each. You could sell it to your grandmother and
sell it to your grandmother. Hey, seat to seat, right? All right, we always run over here, but I want to hit this one question because leaving Inspire, what's your opinion on what partners should be focusing on the next 12 months?
Okay, I've got 4.
4.
4 that they should be focusing on.
Okay.
And it's kind of, they pick what they want to focus on, but these are the 4 takeaways that I've got. The Cloud Partner Program. They need to learn how to use that. I speak to so many partners and I say, have you heard of Cloud Ascent? No. Did you know about your advisory hours? No. Did you know about your go-to-market content from? No. Understand that.
Where did they learn that?
All through Microsoft Partner Center, through the partner portals.
Account teams.
Our account team. Next one, AI. Over 50% of the sessions at Inspire were AI. So AI, 100%. And then I would say security. There's a ton of focus around security. And then I would say biz apps. I think, you know, when you look at the...
I'm shocked that you would say biz apps.
But I think,
Weird.
you know, what I said earlier around only less than 3% of partners transacting now, when you look at things like the MCEM website, the Microsoft Customer Engagement Methodology website, I remembered an acronym. But when you look at that website, it opens up on the biz apps tab. When it's a website that has multiple solution areas, biz apps is never the first one that it opens up on. It's always Modern Work or Azure, you know, but it opens up on biz apps. So I feel like that says something, that a lot of this new content is very biz apps focused.
I like it.
So I feel like there's a huge focus there as well.
Excellent. All right, thanks for joining me. You're always willing to take all these random questions that are coming in. So thanks.
I love it. Thank you.
You'll be back soon?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. 2 full days of recaps with Inspire. I look forward to getting back to our normal schedule this next week, which will be on Thursdays. But look, thanks for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.